I don't remember specifically the conversation, but I remember my mother's look. It was April 30th, 1975. I was about 9.5 at the time. We were in the airport waiting to go. It was like 5 or 6. I was still asleep. And we went on a C-130. It's one of those military airplanes that has the bottom opens up. And as the plane takes off and the bottom closes up, I just remember lying in my mom's lap and looking at her. And she was just looking out. She wasn't crying, but tears was just rolling, silent tear down her eyes. Like, I don't know, just tremendous sadness. Even working on the Sympathizer, it tears me up because I have a real life parallel to the script.
I did exactly what happened on the show. Evacuated by airlifts, and everything was such a secret, and it happened in the middle of the night. Buses taking people out to the airport. I was 15. I couldn't tell my friends that I was going. I had to say goodbye to my grandmother, but I couldn't. I was a child, so I don't think I was aware of, that this is a trauma in the making. A couple of days later, when I woke up in Guam, I know that we lost the country and we might not go back at all. And when that happened, just kind of shattered everything. I'm sorry.
My family, fought with the Americans, so after the war had ended, there was not a lot of opportunities, and we wanted to make sure that there was a better life for us. So my parents took a chance. Me at 6 months old as a baby, they were in their early 20s. At that time, nobody allowed a baby that young to go, because if I had cried, then, I could, alert the communists, and the group could have been, shot and killed. In order for me to go on that journey, my mom had to put me to sleep. And she wasn't sure how much to more or less drug me, but she told me I was asleep for about 2 days and 2 nights. They trekked through the whole jungle to finally make it onto the shores of Vietnam on the ocean. And my parents were split up into groups of men and women. They didn't think that they would even get to see each other, but somehow they met up again on the shores to get onto that little fishing boat. That journey continued for about 2 weeks. No food, no water. Every few days, there was like a ship, a vessel that they would cross paths with that gave them just enough water and a little bit of food to just continue. Everybody was just laying there waiting to die. I was told there were so many people that literally the boat was so heavy, my mom could just reach down and touch water like that.
I could reach to the side and touch the water because there were about 250 to 300 people on this old 1940s fishing boat. Every square inch is basically filled with people. And so we pack in like cattle. You crouch down, that's your space for the next 7 days and 6 nights. So we get to puddle along out there and it's hot. After the second day, we ran out of food and water. And so as a child, I drank my urine to stay alive. So I had nightmares, I would say years after that. And then, of course, there were pirates out there in the ocean. They jumped over with sickles and machetes and buckets. And so everyone had to fill up the buckets. And so they cavity searched all the women and the men, they take their pants off. And one of my brothers had a watch in his pants. So they beat him up and had to beg for his life. And they would take the women up over to their boat and they would rape them. You can hear them fighting back. And then they would return some and kept some. Emotionally, everyone's shooken up.
We were floating in the ocean for 5 days and we got rescued by the Philippines Navy. And they dragged our boat back to Manila, Philippines. We have to go through refugee camp, learn how to speak English, surviving.
My mom ended up in Camp Pendleton in California, then was sponsored in Florida, and my dad was at Fort Chaffee. For a while, it was hard to comprehend what they were going through, but now just bringing it to life just makes it hit so much closer to home to know what they gave up to come here.
My parents and I were able to leave Vietnam in April 1975. I wanted to honor their experience, but also the experience of everyone who fled, because people lost everything and they had to rebuild their lives in the United States as refugees.
Vietnamese people have such varying experiences of who we are and how we identify. Like, did you leave in 1975? Why did you leave? What did you do with yourself afterwards?
I always say that we are the actual Aqua people. We came from the water, you know, and the trauma and all the people that didn't make it, only a certain percentage did make it. Because of that, it created this courage, this grit. I always appreciate having the opportunity, working with people, being around, and being alive.
Those that went before you had lost their lives, buried in the ocean, coming to the U.S., and you just know that you have to do better. You gotta just do better.